Okay, picking back up on Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, I'd like to remind everyone that I do not claim ownership of this book. I did not write this book. Please support the official release. It would be ever so nice if you did, simply because I'm hoping we will hurry up and get another follow-up to this series. But I'm just a really big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. Last we left off, the woods are oddly still. No wind, no morning owls crying from the treetops. The moon cuts along through the spinning forest, and I follow the path until I reach the familiar grove of trees, not knowing where else to go. Everywhere to hide, I sink down into the dry ground and stretch of shadows. My knee has suffered 2 torn stitches from the fall, and I brace my leg with both my hands, then yank it back around so my foot is facing forward, before I quickly stitch the seams back together while my eyes dart up the path, watching for the creature, listening for his unnaturally soothing song echoing through the forest. Ooh, it's a good thing she's a rag doll, so she ain't gotta worry about, broken bones and stuff. Using my teeth to snap the end of the thread, then scramble to my feet, testing out my leg. It was so hastily mended, but it'll have to do. I surround the grove of trees, everything just as it was the night before, but I move past it deeper into the woods, remembering the way to the wall of briars. Then concealed the newly discovered tree. The unknown tree, perhaps it will be a safe place to hide away from the worn path that cuts through the forest, but when I reach the lone tree, the air escapes my throat. The moon-carved doorway into the tree is wide open. Yeah, no shit, you left it open the night before, remember, Sally? The dark hole, like a child's yawning mouth. I never closed the door. I left it open. Shit, Sherlock. First name no. It's a pleasure to meet you. The cold realization slams into my stomach when I found the door. I'd been distracted trying to relieve my torn arm from Zero's mouth as he floated the woods, racing after him back to the cemetery. My mind trembles against another thought, not wanting to be true. Maybe it's a coincidence, the open door and the coincidence, the open door and the bearded man creature who has put everyone in Halloween Town to sleep. I want to believe these two things aren't connected, that it isn't my fault, but the twisted in my knotted stomach in the base of my throat tells me that it is. I have let something out into the town. I did this. I stepped forward quickly and slammed the little door, afraid of what else might be awaiting on the other side. I gathered dead branches and broken limbs from the forest floor, securing them across the doorway, making a hasty barricade, a way to keep out another monster that might slither or creep or crawl through. Wow. Kind of dark when you really stop and think about it. The woods, I feel too quiet. The darkness heavy, guilt crushing through me like a guillotine cutting down to bone. There is no one else to blame, no one to unleash my anger upon for being so foolish and stupid. I have left the door open into some unknown world and unleashed a creature onto Halloween Town. Well, if you wouldn't run away from your problems. Just saying, Sally. I pick at a thread at my wrist as another thought begins to fester in my mind, the loneliness rotting in my chest taking a new meaning, clear and undistinguishable. There is no one else to undo what's been done. No one left but me. With Halloween less than 2 weeks away, it's not only the residents of Halloween Town who I have doomed, but all Halloween. If I don't find a way to wake the others, there will be no pumpkins burning bright on doorsteps, no ghosts rattling chains from children's bedroom closets, no tricks unleashed on All Hallows Eve night. Not this year, not ever. This is my fault. With my head pulsing, my knees still a little off-center, I walk the several yards back to the original grove of 7 trees. I stand in the middle, turning in a circle. I know I can't stay here. I can't risk the creature finding me, putting me to sleep. I narrowly escaped him once before. I might not be so lucky again. And maybe there will be someone in another holiday who will know how to stop the bearded man with sand shifting from his pockets. I think back to Valentine's Town, our honeymoon only days ago, and I wonder if Ruby Valentino will know how to send him back to wherever he came from. Surely she will have some queenly trick or simple remedy to set things right. I open the red heart door that leads to Valentine's Town, my fingers trembling. I remember the hesitation I felt only days ago. I don't want to leave Halloween Town. I was afraid to venture into a world I did not know, but when Jack folded his cold fingers through mine, I knew I'd go anywhere with him. I have to do this on my own. I suck in a long, shaky breath, fear and courage stewing together inside me, making me feel lightheaded, but I force myself to extend my crooked leg through the doorway and then my arm before tumbling headfirst into Valentine's Town. There is nothing graceful about the descent, but into a new realm. It pinwheels, ribbons, and starlight, and little white petal hearts. But when I land in Valentine's Town, I don't take the time to admire the heart-shaped tree and spun sugar sky. I start immediately towards the town border, but I sense the strangeness in the air as soon as I step through the iron forged gate and hurry down the cobblestone path to the center of town. At the Cupid fountain is unnaturally quiet. The scent of melting chocolate and candy wax dripping from fingertips is all gone. Like watered down cake batter, left to spoil on the kitchen counter. I start towards the Lovebird Inn, but I don't even make it a block before I see the first plump, rosy-cheeked woman asleep in a doorway, head cantered to one side, a dozen tiny heart-shaped candies strewn on the ground by her hand. The words, "My honey bee and little love," are stamped onto the chalky heart. "Ma'am," I say to the woman, but I already know, I sense she won't wake up, just like the residents of Halloween Town. She, too, has been cast into an odd, otherworldly kind of slumber. Further up the street, I find another passed out at the cake tables, hot chocolate left cold beside their limp fingers, heads slumped against their shoulders, eyes sunk closed, babies dozing in the stroller while their parents lie on the cobblestone sidewalk, also fast asleep. I find a cluster of cupids resting near the lazy chocolate river. Little muttering sounds slip from their cherry lips. They look like tiny, unconscious babies who've eaten too many sweets. Wings gone, still against their back. And every last one of them is covered in a soft, dusty of white sand. It's scattered across the streets, sunk in window frames and doorways and beneath fingernails. It's everywhere. I pass by the delicacies where candied ginger, marzipan, almond, and lemon macaroons. God, you would think I know that word. Have been left in window sills to rot in the morning sunlight. At last I discover Ruby Valentino, asleep in the front garden of what must be her house. Hedged roses and petunias blooming all around her. It's a well-tended garden, not a single bleeding heart flower in sight, and behind it stands a frosted pink house, tall and narrow like a high heel shoe. She still looks just as glitzy and queenly as she did awake. But now her lips sputter with each exhale, and I bend down to touch her hand softly where she's lying on the flattened grass, a half-eaten chocolate truffle with butterscotch swirl a few inches from her lifeless fingertips. "Ruby," I whisper, hoping against all reason that she might wink a sleepy eye up at me and magically stir awake. I place my other hand on her shoulder and rock her gently, saying her name louder several more times, my tone growing more frantic, more afraid, my voice echoing across Valentine's Town, up the empty streets, with no other sound to break it apart, and the echo sends a spike of cold down to my tailbone. Ruby's mouth hung open, and I lower her back down to the grass, letting her sleep. Valentine's Town is lost to a deep slumber, and I'm starting to wonder if I'm the last one still awake anywhere. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 8. Sally, I don't want to twist the knife here, but if you had, I don't know, done something the day prior, maybe people would still be awake. Just saying. I understand you're kind of having a midlife crisis here, but, well, you all know what's going on. Anywho, that was the end of chapter 8. I do hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming along. I'll have the next chapter out shortly. Y'all have a beautiful day. Please like, share, subscribe. All the fun stuff that hopefully will help my channel grow one day. Thank you.